San Diego State dominated this conference for a long time. Maybe some folks sleeping on them. Picked fourth in the conference this year. And we bring in the head coach, Brian Dutcher. Coach Dutcher, how you doing?
Good to see you, my friend.
Appreciate you jumping on. Enjoyed chatting with you over the summer. And what's it feeling like? You've had a couple weeks of practice. I mean, how you feeling about things?
I think we're like most of the teams here. We're probably working our kids too hard, where we're banged up. You know, we start July 6th, and then we go 6 weeks, and then we take 13 days off, and then we start in the fall, and we're beat up. So I don't know how we are. We're finally getting healthy, which we have to be good.
Now, when I talked to you, there was a lot of folks down on you guys, and you kind of changed my opinion of your team on the phone over the summer. Like, no, just because people don't know who some of these guys are, they're going to know about them pretty soon. They're heck of players. I mean, I think you feel, at least you did when we talked over the summer, much higher on your team maybe than some others, which you're okay with.
Yeah, I'm always positive about my team, and with good reason. I have a lot of talent, and you pick teams based on what they have returning. That's a wise thing to do. I think the teams that are picked ahead of us all have more returning pieces that have done it in the Mountain West, and so we don't have as many returning pieces. So people would say, well, they haven't done anything, they haven't proven it. So our job is to go out there and take all this talent we've accumulated and prove we're a good team. And I think we'll do that over the course of the year.
And I know you have Farrah Compton as the freshman of the year. I mean, I know you got Mr. Guath that a lot of people are going to find out about pretty soon. I mean, some of these younger guys, I know you're expecting to step into big roles.
Yeah, we have young guys, and we're going to play freshmen this year. And it's hard to play as a freshman at San Diego State. We've done it in the past. Matt Mitchell was a starter. Nathan Mensah was a 4-year starter. So we've had freshmen start. But Taj DeGorville and Farrah Compton are very, very talented freshmen with wingspans. Farrell's got a 7'4" wingspan. Taj's got a 7-foot wingspan. And then Magoon Guath I've never had a 7-footer as good as Magoon. And 7-footers are hard to get first and foremost. And when you get them, they're usually just all around the basket and tall. He is versatile. He is talented. And now the question is, when will he hit his stride as a college basketball player?
With that said, you did lose, 75% of your scoring, rebounding, minutes, whatever. I mean, is that a nervous feeling as a coach? Is it an exciting feeling? Just with, I know you like your new guys, but with so many new guys, what's that feeling like?
I think 75% of our scoring was probably just Jaden Ledee. Gee whiz. We lost to Karl Malone, the power forward of the year. So, yeah, we lost. Lamont Butler went to Kentucky. Micah Parrish went to Ohio State. Elijah Saunders went to Virginia. And so we lost a lot of players in the portal like everybody does. And but we're replacing them with really good players. Miles Byrd is third year in the program, just been waiting for his opportunity. So I think Miles is going to explode onto the scene. Reese Waters started most of the year for us, went to the bench so I could get Darian Trammell back onto the floor as a starter. But Reese is a really good player. So you start with those two. Then you add, as much as we're young, we add fifth-year senior and Jared Coleman-Jones. We had senior Nick Boyd from Florida Atlantic, who hit 4 threes against us in the national semifinal game. We had Wayne McKinney, who's all WCC, fourth-year senior guard. And so we add experience, but not experience with us.
You mentioned the guys you lose. How do you stop that? How do we stop that where the Mountain West type schools just become feeder programs for some of these bigger programs?
You don't stop it. It's impossible to stop if you don't have the money to stop it. But a lot of the guys that left our program, it's the COVID guys, like Keyshawn Johnson, played for us 4 years, got a San Diego State degree. And so you use that fifth year to say, I got my degree. Well, I'm a pro. I'll be a pro in college, so I'm going to go to Arizona and get some money. Lamont Butler got a degree from San Diego State in business. I'm going to go to Kentucky and get $750,000 to $1 million. I can't blame a guy for that. He got a degree from San Diego State. He helped us win a lot of games. It's the younger guys that you lose that hurt more, like an Elijah Saunders that you developed 2 years, and you're just getting them into their best productive years. Those are the guys that hurt. But for the guys like even Micah Parrish, graduated from San Diego State and then goes to Ohio State and is getting paid basically to be a pro one more year of college. So that will run out. The fifth-year guys will be done. The graduate transfers will be done. So we got to find a way to keep our underclassmen, and that's critical to any program. I don't care if it's Boise, San Diego State, San Jose State. We have to keep our players in order to build something special.
So how rare is it and how special does it make guys like Tyson Degenhardt and Isaiah Stevens last year and Nick Davidson and some of these guys? And you've had a lot of them, too, over the years that have stayed and could have made more money elsewhere or whatever. I mean, how much of a dying breed are those kind of players?
They're everything. And that's why Boise's going to be good this year, because Degenhardt stayed. And he stayed because of relationships. And the relationship he had with Leon, Davidson at Nevada, he could have got a ton of money. But he loved Nevada, and he loved playing for Alfred, and he stayed. And so you have to build relationships. You can't just be a coach. You have to be a coach that they feel is important enough in their life that they want to stay and be loyal to you at the sacrifice of a lot of financial gain. And you can't blame them either way. I'm not mad at one player that left our program. I'm grateful for the opportunity to coach him, but I'm not that guy anyway. I'm not a negative guy by nature. So it's the new era, what we're dealing with. Nobody likes it, but we all have to live with it and make the best of it.
When you came on last year here at Media Days, you made no bones about the fact that you were hoping to be in the Pac-12, and obviously at that point a different iteration of the Pac-12. What do you make of the new group that's forming here?
I think it's exciting. I mean, if you throw Gonzaga into a league of basketball teams that are good, Boise, San Diego State, the teams we're moving over to the Pac-12, that's a heck of a basketball conference. And that's all I can do anything about is basketball. And so that's as good as it gets in basketball. When you talk about those schools in the West Coast, Final Four teams, good basketball programs, it's going to be a good thing for basketball. With that being said, I've said it earlier today, we are proud members of the Mountain West for 2 more years, and we are going to represent it with great pride. The Mountain West has been good to San Diego State, but I think San Diego State's been good to the Mountain West, just like Boise has. And so we want to make sure that we're not ahead of ourselves, that we're representing this conference in the best way we can, as long as we're members in it.
Do you like the fact that in the Pac, though, you guys are the way the revenue is distributed is 50% goes right to the team that, I mean, you made this run to the championship and you're sharing the money evenly with 10 other teams. That's going to change a little bit in the Pac-12. You win more, you're going to get more money.
I think that's good. And I think that's what Gonzaga's always had in the WCC. You know, they're keeping what they're earning as a program, and that's extra motivation to continue to operate at a high level. We've been to the tournament, and every year go. We're to the point now where we've gone so much, the fan base just expects us to go. They don't know how hard it is to go.
Yeah.
And I like that. But it is hard to go to that tournament, and harder from a non-Power 4 conference. You listen to these guys talking around the country, they're going to get 9 or 10 teams in. This team's a 10-team league. How many spots does that leave for the rest of us? And so we have to continue what we've done in this conference. We have to win these non-conference games, because that's where the resume is built. That's why we got teams in as many as we did last year, because of what we did in the non-conference. And that's why I've always been a guy that says we should play less conference games and more non-conference games. That's where we earn our right to be an NCAA tournament team.
How disappointed were you to see him go to 20?
We've always voted against it.
Yeah.
So I'm a good soldier. If it's 20, let's play 20. But I think people will understand best when they know that we finished in 5th place in the Mountain West last year, and we got the highest NCAA tournament seed. So that's based on what we did in the non-conference, beating Gonzaga, beating St. Mary's, beating Washington, beating Cal, beating anybody that'll play us. That's where we earned our seed. And so I know everyone else shakes their head. Well, look at, man, they finish in 5th place. They get the highest seed. And that's how valuable, in my opinion, the non-conference is. So we have a stretch this year. It's Gonzaga, Creighton, Oregon, Texas A&M. That's as hard a 4-game stretch as you're going to play anywhere. Wow. So if we can win a couple of those games, we're going to put ourselves in great shape in November. And if we don't win them, we'll know what the reality is. We got to win the conference. We have to know. But you have, like, Boise schedules up. We're trying to all schedule up, but I think those non-conference games set the tone for the conference once we get to it.
We had a comment in the chat here from Nathaniel wondering your thoughts on the NCAA considering nixing the redshirt rule and making it 5 years instead.
They got to make it 5 years, because what's going to happen with all these transfers, when you transfer, not all your credits transfer. And you're not sitting a year, so you might be able to make it up over a summer, over X amount of years. You transfer twice, and how many credits are going to transfer? You're not going to graduate. The only fighting chance these kids have to graduate is to have 5 years of college. Now, it's not going to be good for business with unlimited transfers, NIL. It's bad for basketball. But at the end of the day, our mission is to graduate these kids because only a small percentage are going to play professionally. And even if they do, it's only going to be for X amount of years of their life. They're going to live the majority of their life without a basketball in their hands. So giving them a 5th year is not good for basketball or business, but it's good for the kids to graduate, and they have to graduate. That has to be our central mission.
You've obviously won a heck of a lot of games the last several years, but for whatever reason, the last couple of years, Boise State's given you some fits. I think you're 1-6 the last 3 years against them. What is it about Boise State that the last couple of years that's been a tough game for you?
It's every year. I mean, that stretch, we would just show tape. I remember watching tape. Here's the buzzer beater they made against us. Here's the buzzer beater we made against them. Here's the one they barely missed. Here's the one we barely missed. It's that kind of series. And so Max Rice throws in a half-court shot and beats us at our place. Our only home loss of the year. That's the kind of shots that win those games. And so both teams are familiar with each other. It's a great, great rivalry game for us and them, and it's good for both programs. And it stays the way it is because Leon and I have a good relationship. It's not contentious. It's not like we're fighting each other, and it's a nasty. Rivalries can be a good thing, and I think the Boise State San Diego State rivalry is a good thing in basketball.
And I think you're going up there again on a national CBS game on a Saturday, so again, you're going to go into probably a sold-out game in Boise again this year.
Oh, it's going to be insane. It always is. I mean, the atmosphere they beat us in at our place last year was incredible, and so. College coaches and fans, they waste too much time cheering against the other team. Know that I love Leon. I love Boise. I want to beat them in the worst way. But once it's done, I'm a huge Boise and Leon fan. I'm a conference fan. And they got to be the same way. Pull for the conference in every other game than when you play them.
What are your thoughts on their team and that trio of Degenhart, Stanley, and Cardenas kind of leading the way?
Cardenas is the key. I mean, we all know that Degenhart and Stanley are first-team all-conference players. Degenhart's my favorite player in the conference. He always has been. And so now can Cardenas come in? And that's why these summer practices are important. Run that Boise offense, all the set plays. He'll be on top of it. And that's why they're going to be picked to win the league. As much as it's Stanley and Degenhart, it's like, who's the third guy with experience? And it's going to be Cardenas, and that he's going to make a huge difference for him.
Somebody in the chat wanted me to ask about recruiting the Fab Five to Michigan, and they called you a legend. Somebody else asked about your relationship with Steve Fisher. So I don't know if you want to just combine all that into one thing, but obviously you've had some good times over the years, even before you got to San Diego State.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I met Steve Fisher in 1988. We were assistants at Michigan together for Bill Frieder, and that's the year he coached the 6 interim games to win the national title. And I mean, my Michigan years, I went to 3 national championship games with Fisher. 2 with the Fab Five. Obviously, Duke beat us, and then Weber called the timeout we didn't have against Carolina. Won the title in '89 with Glenn Rice, and the whole moment, circular career, is to take San Diego State to a Final Four. How does that ever happen? And as a coach, to have the kind of career where I'm blessed. I'm not saying I'm the reason it happened, just to be blessed to be around such good players and coaches, to go to that game 4 times. It's like you close your eyes and go, how does that ever happen?
Well, final thing, Coach, just you wrap it up the way we started, but you seem pretty excited about your team and the potential you got this year.
We're going to be talented. And I always say, people, they get tired of hearing me. We're going to be good. I don't know how soon we're going to be good. We got a lot of guys out with injuries. Once we get them all back, we'll start putting it together. I'd like to be good in November with our schedule. But if that doesn't happen, we'll find a way to be relevant in the conference and be fighing for the title.
Well, Coach Dutcher, appreciate your time. We'll see you January 4th in Boise.
Looking forward to it, my friend.
Appreciate it. There he is, Brian Dutcher, head coach at San Diego State. We got a couple minutes left. We're going to bring in for a couple minutes the players, Miles Byrd, Reese Waters. We got about 3, 4, 5 minutes. We'll jump on with those guys. Sit wherever you'd like, guys. Got a headset for you right here. Again, San Diego State, 26-11, made the Sweet 16 last year, despite finishing 5th in the conference, and kind enough to join us. We got a couple of their star players here, and so we appreciate that we're getting the camera situated here. Miles Byrd, Reese Waters, how you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Appreciate you for coming on. Colin, if we can switch that over and get these guys on here. What's it like being down here at Media Days, representing the conference and the team?
That's definitely cool. For me, it's kind of getting out of character to talk a lot and meet a lot of people and get to know people and just talk about the team. But it's definitely a cool experience.
What are your thoughts?
It's definitely good. I mean, my parents moved out to Vegas when I moved to college, so we had Reese and Dutch over at the crib last night, had some dinner. So good to see my parents and good to be out in Vegas, seeing some of the other good schools out here.
And I should say that's Miles and Reese. We didn't have the thing set up on the bottom of the screen to know who's who for folks out there. But what's your take on your team this year? A lot of people sleeping on you a little bit. You lose a lot from last year, and a lot of people don't know about some of the younger players, the new players. Haven't seen you guys at your best either, probably. I mean, what's your take on getting picked fourth and maybe some people sleeping on you a little bit?
I mean, it is what it is. We know what we got. We know what we got to do in order to be a great team. I think we're definitely developing well. We're passing the ball better. We're, trying to lack our turnovers and, on defense, just trying to keep that the main thing. And I think we're doing a really good job, though, just staying together and pushing through. We have a few injuries, a few people nicked up, but I think we're going to be good.
How you feel about it?
And I think just with more time, we're just going to get better and better and better. We got a lot of young guys, but a lot of talent. So I think the more games we play, the more we practice, the more we mesh. I think the sky's the limit for this team that we got.
Who's one of those newcomers or a young guy or somebody, not yourselves, that maybe people don't know about that pretty soon they're going to really know about?
I definitely think Taj and Farrell coming in as freshmen. And, definitely, when you're a freshman, your maturity level, sometimes you could be a little less mature, but I think they held themselves to a high standard. There are times where I got to talk to Farrell or talk to P. Same with Miles. We got to talk to the younger guys, but they're doing a pretty good job just meshing in and understanding that winning is the main goal, and they're doing pretty good.
What about for you?
I think the country's going to know Magungwath very soon. 7-foot redshirt freshman who shoots the three very well, blocks a lot of shots, and moves almost like a guard.
What's your guys' take? We covered Boise State, so you guys haven't been around a long time, but they've had some great battles over the years, back and forth with buzzer beaters on both sides. I mean, that rivalry, I know they came in and got you on senior night, but just what's it like when you play against Boise State?
I mean, for me, last year was my first year playing them. So it was cool, to be in both games, and, we got it down to the wire, but, we're definitely coming to win the game. So it was cool to play, though. It was a cool experience.
I think, I've been here for 2 seasons now, going to my third. So I've seen 4 matchups with Boise State. You guys got the upper hand on this since I've been here. But I think every time we go into a Boise State game, we know what it is. Both, tenacious on the defensive end and, just play super hard. So it's always fun going into Boise or having Boise and San Diego for a game. It's going to be a good game.
And Coach Dutcher said it's kind of a respectful rivalry or a friendly rivalry. There's no heated thing. It's just the coaches like each other. The both teams have respect for the players. I mean, is it kind of I don't want to say fun rivalry, but is that one of the harder places to go into Boise in the conference?
Definitely. I mean, I feel like whenever we go into Boise, the crowd is always going up. I think it was senior night, my freshman year when we played them. You had a really good team in Boise, so Boise, that game, we always know what it is. We always scout it how it is, and we know that it's going to come down the wire for both teams.
Well, what do you guys make of just this league? I mean, there's 10 players on the preseason team from 7 different teams. I mean, is it a lot of these teams have some solid players? I mean, overall, how do you guys feel about this league? I know 6 teams last year might be hard to do again, but how do you feel about the league?
I definitely think, coming from the Pac-12 to the Mountain West, not that you feel like you're better than everybody, but it's a different league, so you're ready to see the talent level and how people play. And, from my experience, from my experience, the Mountain West was better. I think everybody plays more physical, everybody's more tactical with their game. And if there is a talent, like a less talent on a team, they still play more together, so the teams are better. But I think for me, it's cool. I love competing with everybody. And like you said, going into Boise is hard, but any team we play, we look at it like it's the Super Bowl or like our championship game, so we're always ready.
I know for you, maybe, I was reading, seeing stuff, you didn't have the season you wanted, all this. Look down, you still almost averaged double figures, and you did some things. But for you and talking to Coach, it just seems like there's so much more to your game. I mean, how much better, different, improved do you hope to be this year?
I definitely look to be better. I think I started the year off last year good, but, I kind of fell off towards 2/3 of the season, or 1/3 of the season. But I think definitely this year just being more confident and being more efficient in my game is something that I'm working on, so I'm looking forward to it.
For you, Miles, coming off the bench last year, getting some key minutes, though, I mean, just how much better? Where do you hope to improve this year?
I was a guy last year that had to fit a role any way I can to get on the court. And, this year stepping into more opportunity, I think just being more solid. I'm a guy who's going to show a lot of energy on the defensive side, but I'm also haven't really shown off my playmaking skills and, getting guys shots and stuff like that. I think that's one of the best parts of my game is opening up the court for other people. and just making plays on both ends. So I'm excited this year to show it with more minutes and more opportunity.
Well, what's it like? I mean, you mentioned going to Boise, but I'm sure every arena's packed, sold out. Just with what you guys did, a couple years ago, going to the championship game, and just the history that San Diego State has as this kind of, team that's dominated the league. I mean, just kind of being that team where, I went to Kansas, so I kind of know as a student there, just that name on the chest means something. When you guys, what's it like going on the road and just even at home too, but just being that team and with the tradition that you do and knowing that you're going to get everybody's best shot?
Definitely. I think as competitors, whenever we step in the arena, we want everybody's best. So you never go in there hoping that somebody's out or that they're not their best. So for us, it's always great. And as a competitive player, I love seeing that.
I'm about to say, also as a competitive guy, you never want to walk in an arena and it's empty and, you got to create your own energy as a team, so we love going to those away arenas where it's a sold out crowd and, they hate you and, winning in there feels so good and stuff like that. So I feel like, we see it a lot in Viejas. We don't feel it in Viejas because we feel the cheering instead of the fans getting on you and stuff. But, I think we love away games. Our whole entire team kind of loves them.
I guess final thing, just kind of how we started, but overall, how you feeling about this team and your excitement level to get things going here?
I'm definitely excited to get this season going. I think especially this is my 4th year, so I've had so many quote-unquote media days and times where we got to put on the uniform and take pictures, and this is my last year, so I'm definitely ready to get the season started with.
Yeah, me and Reese were literally just talking about it right here, that we can't wait for season to start up and, just playing basketball every day. Right now, last 2 months, we've been just practicing against each other, beating each other up in practice. So finally going out there in front of fans and show off what we've been working on the past 3-4 months, I think I'm just super excited for what we can do.
Well, we appreciate you guys. Stay healthy. Best of luck this season. I think January 4th, it's a Saturday afternoon, national CBS game up in Boise. I'm sure it'll be a empty arena waiting to welcome you in there. So best of luck. We'll see you in a couple months, guys.
Yes,
Thanks a lot. There you go. We appreciate Reese Waters for joining us and Miles Byrd as well here on Bronco Nation News.